I'm going to be talking to you today in this video about how to measure your proportions and what the three most important proportion measurements are to know in order to understand what clothes look best on you. This is a video that's a follow-up to the 3 blog posts that I did in October that talk about these 3 measurements, have charts, show you exactly where to measure, and now you're going to get to take a look at my frame and I can show you visually how to do these measurements because they really are quite simple. So before I start, I do want to say that when I ask women how they want to feel in their body, the word balance comes up. And I believe that we are geared towards having balance in our lives. The wonderful thing about fashion is that it can balance your proportions. If 2 proportions that are meant to be equal in length, one's shorter and one's longer, there are things you can do with fashion to balance out those proportions. It's so much fun. If there's a width where there's one width area that's wider than another, there are also things you can do in fashion, and that's what you're going to eventually learn about. So the first measurement, actually, all you really need to do this is a seamstress tape and a carpenter's tape. Now you see this thing here, this contraption, is just a way to measure height. And I've got it on my height here at 62 inches. A whole whopping 5'2" is my height. And you can see the numbers here, so it'll be easy to show you the different lengths. But for doing this at home, you can look in front of a long view mirror, you need a seamstress tape, and the very first thing that you need to do is to measure your wrist. So the place on your wrist to do this is in between this bone and the end of your hand, which is right here. And what you should feel in this area is the rotating bones of your wrist. And there's a chart in the October 17th blog I did. I am 5'2", and my wrist measurement is 6, and that makes me medium boned. So a smaller boned woman who has a similar body type to me, maybe even is the same height, maybe close to the same weight, might take a smaller size if she's tiny boned. And this is something that we kind of forget about, is how a large framed woman is clearly going to have a bigger size, and we've got it in our heads that that's not good. So believe me, your frame is really what gives you all the clues and what gives to the right fashion, and it gives you an understanding of your body. So after you've measured your wrist, then you're ready to do the first measurement, and that is the upper body to the lower body. And I put this little clip here on my tights to show you where the mid-body point is. This is something that's a little bit confusing to women, so I'm going to explain it, that if you feel the outside of your leg and there you can feel that hip bone, and you go directly in from that hip bone, that is the place where the leg bone fits into the hip socket. And of course, when you lift your leg, you can feel this. So that's the mid-body point, and you line it up so it's about in the middle of your leg. Now I'm going to stand on this at my 5'2" height, which is right here. And my mid-body point I've already marked. And as I turn around, we can see that my mid-body point is right at about 30 inches, maybe a little more than 30 inches. So what does that tell me? My legs are about 30 inches and my upper body is 32. So I have a long torso and shorter legs. Okay, now for the second measurement, which is actually very easy to do. I'll show you. Here's the carpenter's tape. I'm going to just bring it up like this. I am standing on the carpenter's tape with the edge of my foot at 62 inches, and it also shows my height. So I can do the same measurement and come up and see that that 30 inches, it's from the top down, is right at about my mid-body point. Is that right? Let's see. Yes, because the tape is opposite. Me and numbers doesn't always compute very quickly. So you can use this tape that way, and you can also use it to do our next measurement, which is just the width of your shoulder and your hip. And you can see by holding this tape that this tape angles up and out because my shoulders are definitely wider than my hips. So I have smaller hips and wider, broader shoulders. The last measurement that you want to know about is the waist placement. And so with your waist placement, here's my seamstress tape. You're going to measure from the first section of your waist, which is the upper part, just from underneath your arm to your natural waist. And then from your natural waist to the mid-body point. Now, where is your natural waist? We wear clothes that are low-waisted and high-waisted, and we kind of forget where the natural waist is. So it is, if you were to feel your very last rib in your side and sort of cup your fingers underneath that rib, that right there below is where your natural waist is. And it usually hits you right above your belly button. You can also feel your natural waist when you pivot to the side like this, because you know where it sits. That's my natural waist there. So my upper part of my waist is about 9 inches long to the natural waist. Actually, it's more than that. It's about 10 inches. And from my waist to my mid-body point is only about 7.5. So I have a short rise and a very long waist. So those are how you do your measurements. And again, you can follow up in reading them to review it in the blog post that I did on October 17th, 24th, and 31st. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to anyone. I can't see you on the other side because I'm over here doing the video, but I look forward to speaking to you soon. And post a comment underneath this video or comment under the blogs and let me know what you think. Okay?